Well, we're almost here, guys. This is it. Final game week. For a little bit, we can then relax just for over a week before we're back into the FPL stuff. Start looking into other stuff as well. But yes, this is it. Final game week for the Christmas period. This is now it. This is the Christmas period and the New Year's period when it comes to football is now over in a couple of days. So let's do it. Let's do what we always do, which is a review of the game week that's just gone, game week 20, and then moving on into game week 21. So, where did we start? We started with Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest, an early kickoff. Aston Villa, very comfortable, to be quite honest. I think it might have even been 3-0 before Forest scored. Absolutely dominant performance from Aston Villa. Great to see them recover after everything that happened. Nottingham Forest, are they starting to become the next whipping boys? We then had Brighton Hove Albion against Burnley. This was a very comfortable performance for Brighton Hove Albion. Burnley offered a little bit, but not a lot, and it was comfortable for Brighton. As it was for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know I predicted that they could win. Didn't expect it to be that smooth and that comfortable. So fair play to them. West Ham United. Ooh, a little bit nervy right now. We will talk a little bit about West Ham United and their status when we start previewing the next matches. Then we come to Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Bournemouth gave Arsenal a really good go. They took the lead, and then Arsenal raced into a 3-1 victory, but lead. But then Bournemouth scored again. Fair play to Bournemouth, really giving Arsenal a good go, but Arsenal showing just the type of team that they are. They are becoming that type of team. Sunday was the day of surprises, though. We started off with Leeds United 1, Manchester United 1. Had a feeling that Leeds United would get something out of this. They did not disappoint in that status. Manchester United dropping points again. We definitely will be talking about Manchester United. Everton losing to Brentford. I did not expect that in the slightest. But Brentford absolutely walked over Everton. They scored 3 goals. Everton then scored 1. Then Brentford scored their 4th. And then Everton scored a 2nd. But it was too late. It was madness. I don't know where that came from Brentford. I don't know where that came from Everton, to be quite honest. But wow. Then we had Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace gave it a good go. But Newcastle, on the other end, it was comfortable for them in the end at St James's Park. Then we had Tottenham Hotspur against Sunderland, and Sunderland again have stolen points from bigger teams. Once again, Sunderland really showing the type of team they are. My prediction didn't come true. It wasn't Granit Xhaka that would score, but still, good on you, Sunderland. Well done. Really, really good stuff. Then we had the game at Craven Cottage at Fulham between Fulham and Liverpool. Fulham scoring deserved to go ahead. Liverpool's Wirtz goal, it was tight. It was a tight offside. They're one of those ones, aren't they? You're irritated when it goes for you, when it goes against you, but you're all supportive when it goes all for you. So it's just one of those. Then Liverpool scoring a second goal with Cody Gakpo in the last few minutes, and then a thunderbolt from Fulham. Deserved point for Fulham. Annoying for Liverpool, but we just move on. Manchester City then versus Chelsea, and it's hard not to say this without looking incredibly smug. I called a draw, and we got a draw. Now, granted, it was the last couple of minutes of the game, but I got it correct. And fair play to Callum McFarlane, 100%. You know, like that 100% positive record at the moment, and fair play, really, really good stuff. So, yeah, really, really surprising. Man City dropping points again. A good weekend for Arsenal when it comes all to it. So how did that affect us? Well, our points was the fact that we got 38. That might not sound that great, especially as we had no special players in the team of the week this week. But we are climbing a little bit up in our family league that we're doing at the moment. It wasn't too bad. I'll take it. Rangers certainly did well, but yeah, given the fact that I predicted that Chelsea would get a point against Manchester City, the fact that I went all in on Man City is a little bit embarrassing. We were also done over by the Ekatike injury, and that's something we need to keep an eye on. In fact, speaking of injuries, that's worth talking about as well. So we do need to investigate everything going forward. So let's start out with talking about that. So hamstring injury for Ekatike, 75% chance of playing. In regards to that, we got a lot of injuries, in fact, to look into there. You got Hudson-Odoi, you got Isidore. Kudus has had a really bad injury, so Kudus very much looks like they're going out. Jacob Murphy again, Udogi again, Piqueta again. Why did I see? Oh, that's Fabianski. Fabianski out badly again. Huang Yi-chan, after scoring a goal, 75% chance, and Gomez the same. So a little bit concerning in terms of that. I don't think we had any transfers. I'll double check. No transfers as of yet. Something I'm sure will come up just to surprise everybody. It normally does. It normally does. So there's a lot to consider for the next game week. But we can't consider the next game week unless we know what is about to happen. So let's go and do that by starting to review the matches. So we start off with a battle at the bottom. West Ham United versus Nottingham Forest. And I feel like I need to talk about both of them, to be quite honest. Let's start with West Ham. I don't understand what's going on. West Ham have been at their best when they've been like that sort of counter-attacking team that plays defensively, and that felt perfect for Nuno Espirito Santo. So I don't know what's gone on there, but it's obviously not the right fit. I don't know if it's got something to do with the fact that Nuno was a Spurs manager, and maybe West Ham players aren't taken on board with it. But yeah, like kind of shocking and surprising. This is one of Nuno's worst. Just one of his worst seasons, and I can see him getting sacked. There's chat already about him being sacked, and the fact that Slaven Bilic could potentially come in. Now, Slaven Bilic, West Ham manager, legend, a brilliant manager, but even him, I'm not really sure of. This looks like the season for West Ham. And Nottingham Forest, again, this is a bit of a surprise. Like, again, Sean Dyche is the type of manager that you want to not get relegated, like Espirito Santo. So to see him lose his, like, struggling like this, I don't know, a bit concerning. I think this is they call it El Sacico. Whoever loses is going to get sacked. That and I think if it's a draw, both of them could get sacked. Like that's how we are. And as for West Ham and Nottingham Forest, I think this is it. I think they're getting relegated. I think they both are. Now for West Ham, that's a case of probably just like a bridge too far. The way that West Ham has been ran over the past few years has been a bit poor, and for Nottingham Forest, just think about how good they had it at the start of the season. They had, Espirito Santo. They had, they had Europe. They're still in Europe. They still theoretically could be in the Champions League next season. Just think about that, by the way. We have a team based on their performances that could be getting relegated. But in a knockout Europa League competition, I don't know where they are in the Europa League table, they could be in the top tier of European football. Like, what? What is going on? I mean, yes, we had the same that happened last season when it came to Manchester United and Spurs, but it was a different time. We had promoted teams that were struggling, so it was almost like, yeah, it's not going to happen. But, ooh, this is a bit. I mean, that'd be a slap in the face to the Europa League that basically a championship team could end up in the Champions. You could win it, but yeah, bit concerning. As to this, I do think the Forest are going to win this. I do think Forest are going to win this. I think this is the final straw for Nuno, but I don't think. This has got one of those things where it could either be really tight because neither team is confident about playing out, and so we don't get any. We get like these ultra defensive performances, or we end up with a ridiculous 3-2, 4-3, 5-4 situation. What I'd say is, if you are watching this game, keep an eye out for the first 20 minutes. See what happens. If the first 20 minutes gives any indication it's an attacking match, watch it. If it looks boring and defensive, just stop. It's going to be 0-0 for the rest of it. That's my feeling of it. That honestly is my feeling. Anyway, let's move on to Wednesday's fixtures, because I think that is literally all of the others. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, there's a Thursday match as well. We will get on to that. So let's start off with Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur. This might surprise you, but Bournemouth are 14th. Or something like that. 14th, 15th, one of those positions. You wouldn't expect it given the way that Bournemouth have been performing this year. They've been bad. In terms of like the points they're getting, yet they've been good in their performances. The same can't be said for Spurs. And given the fact that Bournemouth have given Arsenal a really good go, I think Bournemouth are going to get something out of this. Would I go so far as to say it's a win? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'm going to go for goals for Evan Nielsen. I'm going to go for a freak goal from Truffert. And I'm going to go for a goal from Richarlison. He loves scoring goals that don't mean anything, but it's fine. We then go to Brentford versus Sunderland. I think these are the two teams that have performed really well this season. Brentford have exceeded everyone's expectations. After Thomas Frank left Brentford, everyone thought, that's it, Brentford are down. Brentford have performed really well. Sunderland have performed really well. And I think we're coming up to a situation where this is Sunderland are the most defensive team going up against Brentford, who have one of the best number 2 goalkeepers, and certainly in the shout for being in the top 5 goalkeepers of all time in Kieran Keller. I will always back that boy. How do I think it's going to go? Sunderland. I think we got a 1-0 to Sunderland. I don't know why, but I feel that way. Then we come to Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. And Villa win. You'd like to think. But we can go for 2-1. I think this could be a chance that Brennan Johnson gets to score for Crystal Palace. I will always be a firm believer of Brennan Johnson. And Aston Villa, they'll just get things going. They'll want that second place. They will want that second place, and they'll be fighting for it. Then we come to Everton, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Could Wolverhampton Wanderers make it 2 in a row? I'm not confident when I say this, but I think they could. I'm going to go for a Wolves win. Keep an eye out for this season, by the way, guys. Keep an eye out. Because Wolves, despite their poor form, are 12 points away from safety. Now, there are going to be times that even winning they won't get close, but just I'm going to go for a Wolves win. I think they're going to do it. It's crazy that I'm thinking that way, but I think they're going to do it. Don't know who's going to score them, but Yeah, I think we'll do it. Fulham versus Chelsea next. And will Callum McFarlane still be at Chelsea? No one knows. Will it be Liam Rossini? No one knows. Fulham been good. Chelsea have been good. Chelsea, I mean, this is a derby. This is the West London derby between Fulham and Chelsea. I'm going to give this one a draw. Chelsea are good at reacting to what the other team does, but so are Fulham. And I think, yeah, we're going to go and see a 1-1, 2-1, something like that. 1-1 maybe. Man City versus Brighton Hove Albion next. And, okay, disappointing they dropped points. Man City will feel bruised by that. They'll be coming back with a vengeance. Will Brighton Hove Albion be able to stop them? I'm not so sure. Burnley did actually have a couple of chances against Brighton. Man City are going to walk it, I think. So, 4-1. 3-1, 4-1. One of the two. I haven't worked it out, but yeah. Then we come to Burnley versus Manchester United. And it's been a while. Been a few hours, but this morning, as of recording on the 5th of January, Ruben Amorim has been sacked. Has been relieved of his duties as Manchester United manager. Now, we're going to be doing some deep dive right now. So, buckle up. Because for those of you guys that are perhaps not so connected to football, you're probably wondering why Manchester United sacking their manager Ruben Amorim is a bigger nightmare than Chelsea sacking their manager in the previous game review we did, right? Isn't it the same in all clubs? No? Well, no. You see, there are three types of clubs, right? There's a type of club which is all about, they will have managers in that is like a plug and play that, okay, performances are bad, right, we're going to bring another manager in to replace, right? The players stay the same, the style stays the same, it's all about can the manager do it, right? You'll then have these sort of project jobs where basically a manager comes in for a project, like Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, 2, 3, 4 years, right? Where basically they make allowances and go, right, happy for you to make mistakes in the first couple of years. Don't kill the club, like don't relegate us, but give it a go. See if you can build something for the future. And then you have Manchester United, which is sort of like the worst of both worlds. And there's a, it makes sense because they're basically companies behind these teams. As much as we don't want to think about it because they are football clubs, they are businesses, they're companies behind it. And sometimes you will get companies where there is no structure, where there is decisions that are being made. Now, as you can see, I'm a Liverpool fan. I should be smug about this, and I know nothing about what's going on when it comes to Man United. In fact, I can't even pull on any information from the past that might be able to provide some sort of solace, some sort of relief. And also, given the fact that I'm a Liverpool fan, we are rivals of Manchester United. Kind of don't want them to recover, But I will say this. Decisions on a footballing basis have to be made by footballing people. People that know what they are talking about. We mentioned about plug and play managers. That's a specific type of manager. But when it comes to project managers, which is the type of managers that Man United normally go for, they have a distinct style. They want to play, a way to perform. They need certain players. They need to fit the mold. They have a certain way of playing. Thinking about managers like that, Jurgen Klopp is a great example of that. He completely switched up the way that Liverpool played It was a complete turnaround. In fact, it was a whole rebuilding job. The entire academy style was restructured, restyled. They put in some new parameters for the academy. They did certain things in different areas. They completely revamped the training area because they knew that was what was needed. It was like a full-on rebuild of everything, not just the team. And when you have too many of that, everything looks a mess. Not just in terms of the playing style, that, you know, a team might play one way, then they might play another, then they have to play another, and they're bringing players in for that. But even just in terms of the structure and the culture. Let me put it in like a business terms that might make you understand, right? When you have a you might have been in a company that basically you have had the same boss for 3, 4, 5 years, right? You might not fully like them, but you know them, right? You know the way to do your job so as to achieve your targets and achieve your goals, and you work things out. And you also know almost them personally. What type of jokes do they like? What type of jokes do they not like? What do they appreciate? Do they like a little bit of playfulness and, you know, loudness, you know, from the team, or do they prefer things quiet? And whilst you might not fully agree with them, you at least know, okay, this is what I should be doing, this is what I shouldn't be doing. Or you have a situation where, you know, when it comes to, you just know the culture in terms of they've built a value system, and you're like going, okay, I've got to do this, this, and this. Doesn't matter how many times my boss changes, I know what I need to be doing on the long term. But when you have a situation where your manager's constantly changing, like every 6 months, there seems to be a new one coming in every 6 months, and there's no bigger company structure, as a member of staff, you're going to be like, what am I even meant to be doing? I've got to relearn everything all over again. I don't know my roles, but I'm talking about relearning myself all over again just to work things out. And that's where Man United are right now. The players don't know really what to do apart from win a game. Like, how are they going to do it? It's a mess. It's been a mess for a while. It's concerning. I'm going to say that, actually. As a Liverpool fan, it's actually concerning to watch. And that might sound ridiculous to you, right? You might be like going, well, surely you'd want the very worst of Man United. You'd want them to lose every game. And you're sort of right. Sort of. But I wouldn't want to see them get relegated. I wouldn't want to see them go into bankruptcy because they spent too much money. I mean, that might sound like the ultimate victory, right? Liverpool versus Manchester United, and that's the case. But no. I want my sparring partner. I want my rivalry. I want it. I want Manchester United to stay in the Premier League. In fact, my dream scenario would be in a situation where both Liverpool and Manchester United were battling for the title. I'd like us to win, but I want to have Man United there. And why am I saying that? Because it's the sparring partner. You still won't believe me. Let me try and explain things a bit better. So Aston Villa, Birmingham City have a rivalry between themselves. When Birmingham City got relegated, Aston Villa lost something in the team. They felt a little bit wayward because it was all about, can we do better than Birmingham City? Same was true when it came to Newcastle and Sunderland. In fact, we've seen that this year. Sunderland have got this joy and bounce because they want to be doing better than Newcastle. It's playfulness. It's like getting one up on your big brother. Not that I have any siblings, but you know what I mean, right? And I want Man United to work something out so that at least we have that sparring partner. The Premier League would be less without Manchester United. I mean, it'd be funny, but it'd be less. But how they fix it, I don't know. It's a bit like pick-up sticks. Unless you are absolutely focused and looking into the whole situation and you are there and you are staring at everything from the coach to the players to the recruitment to the CEOs to the board to the finances to everything like that, you don't know what to pick up first. And they've said the manager. Don't know if it'll actually fix it. We'll see. As for this match, what normally happens is that players will try their hardest a bit more, so I'm not entirely sure they'll get the new manager bounce, but I'll go for it. I'll give Man United a 1-0 victory for this. I will. Newcastle United versus Leeds United next. Leeds, who have been performing well and excitingly. Newcastle have actually been alright the past couple of weeks. I think it's going to be another draw. 2-2. I can't see Leeds losing it. I can't see Newcastle losing it for some reason. I will give the edge to Newcastle because they're looking a little bit more organised, but yeah, just about Newcastle have the edge here. And then finally, we have the Thursday. It's just a small match. It's fine. It's just a small matter of Arsenal versus Liverpool. Oh boy. It's at Arsenal. Liverpool, the one team that has managed to beat Arsenal this season at their home game. Arsenal are going to get their revenge. As much as it pains me to say this, I think Arsenal are going to win this. I think it could even be 2-0. Goals from Gabriel, Declan Rice, I don't know, but I get the feeling Arsenal are going to win this. So yeah, a little bit of a challenging one there for Liverpool to deal with. The only hope being that Arsenal have struggled a little bit against Bournemouth and Wolves, but so Liverpool. So yeah, I'm giving it to Arsenal, and I'm sort of in a win-win situation. I'm either right or Liverpool won. So fair enough. So how's that going to affect what we do? Let's start by looking at the pick team situation. See what stands out. Big thing that stands out is Ekatike. And who are Brentford playing? Sunderland. Oof. So, what is it? 75% chance of playing for Ekatike? I don't know if I'm confident about that. So let's have a look at our transfers and see if we can bring somebody in to replace Ekatike if possible. Let's have a look at our forwards. What have we got? Who have we got in our forwards? Chelsea playing Fulham. Aston Villa playing Crystal Palace. Goodwill against Leeds. Who are Bournemouth playing? Tottenham. Ooh. It's a challenging one, this one. Actually is a challenging one. Would I trust Wolves? Who would I trust, actually? Difficult. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to bring in Thiago because I've got more confidence over Thiago against Sunderland than I have Ekatike against Arsenal. So I'm going to bring in Thiago. Do I bring in anybody else? Don't know. Who else have we got? So we got Callagher against Sunderland, Roofs against Brentford. One of them's going to play. We're going to have to figure out which one. Saliba against Liverpool. Yeah, Frimpong against Arsenal. We've got some cover there on that. Maatson, Rogers, Crystal Palace. We've got a couple of Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Maybe we do that to balance each other out. We've got Xhaka against Brentford. Okay, that's fine. Calvert-Lewin against Newcastle. Yeah. Do I bring in? No. We're going to make that transfer. Just the one transfer. Just the one transfer. We're not going to do something too extreme. So, who are we going to have in? Who are we going to have out? So, Johnson against Aston Villa, Calvert. I think both of them got a similar sort of chance to score, but Johnson is a midfielder. That will work out well. Reeves against Kelleher. Reeves has been the better goalkeeper, so I'll keep him in. Gahey's there, Johnson's there. We've got Rogers there as well. Xhaka, Thiago. I think that's a fair shout, actually. I think. And the question is, who do we captain? I think I'm going to captain Foden. Rangers has been good, but I suppose it was kind of a lucky goal. I'm going to captain Foden. I think he's due a good performance. So yeah, let's do that. So yeah, Roofs. We're going to hope that he gets a clean sheet against Brentford. In fact, I'm kind of going all in on on Sunderland, but we've got Thiago as our backup against Sunderland. Saliba and Frimpong will balance each other out. I think they've both got as much of a chance of scoring or getting assists as each other, so fair enough on that. Johnson, hoping he gets something against Aston Villa. We've got Brighton, Hove Albion, hoping that they absolutely get walked over by Manchester City. Xhaka, as I said, against Brentford. Rogers against Crystal Palace. I don't know if that's a good decision or not. But what? I don't know anything anyway. So, yeah. Best of luck to everybody. I think all that's left to say is until next time, which will be a little while away. So we got some time to catch up on stuff, which will allow me to get some F1 videos done, which I'm glad about. So yeah, until next time, guys, all that's left to say is see you around.